going through a tunnel of trees?
Yes.
Yeah.
At night around midnight?
Yes.
Around midnight.
Well, where I used to live back down in St. Bernard, there was the St. Bernard Street. There was a street that was just nothing but a tunnel of trees for forever. There's this one break in between that had a dog store right there. You saw that? You remember that one? Okay. So she knows what I'm talking about. Okay.
Oh my god.
No. So me and my mom were driving down the street. Okay, this is after like some kind of thing we went to. I don't remember what it was. But we were driving down, and my mom starts to go. Mom saw this light out in the distance. She started going, "What is that?" It's like that went on for like a minute and a half. And I'm sitting in the back seat. What is she talking about? So I jump up in the front seat. And all I see is this light. So we keep driving. Then we see just a train of cars parked, people just sitting there watching. So we ended up pulling on side. So look what they're looking at. We look up, and not 20, 30 feet in the air, flying saucer. It was the most perfect example of flying saucer you could ever think of in your life. Perfectly circular, lights underneath, and it was just sitting there. And that was the scariest thing. So it was just sitting there, not doing anything. So
Camera.
So we were sitting there freaking out because we didn't know what to do, and all of a sudden the thing just starts floating past us, and then all of a sudden you could barely see it. Started changing this. It looked like liquid in the sky, and when it went to go land in the trees, it looked like a hurricane was hitting over there. So we took off at like 150 miles an hour. So, but then we looked back to what was going on.
That's a bit of an exaggeration.
No, it was about 100. I'm serious, about 100. And there was 4 helicopters, U.S. military-grade helicopters, coming from all 4 Dakar directions.
I believe the helicopters.
That was scary. That was
And again, I will say, alien proof.
I believe it's true.
How would you go off down that street? You know how short that street is? I've actually lived there. Are you scared? Yeah.
You can hit 100 on the street.
You have to go pretty fast.
Yeah.
You have to hit 100, but you have to go pretty fast. Oh no!
This street right before Violet.
Oh yeah.
So he was bolting down that street.
That's not scary. That's just really creepy. That would creep me the hell out.
I have a
Paper
scary
marker.
experience.
Oh, I have a scary
Okay,
experience
so-
too.
Okay, we can go around and do
It's pretty quick.
Who goes next?
We're supposed to be scared.
Alright, who's the next people this way that has a scary
She needs
experience?
to leave at
Yeah.
3:30.
Alright,
Tell her.
tell her scary experience.
Oh, I was over
Get
by my
into your-
dad.
Get into your
My
home,
bad
that-
moment.
No, you're
Okay,
haunted.
that
Okay,
Yeah.
everything you said is something mystical and powerful.
Oh,
For everything.
You're back into the storytelling.
Yeah, I like telling scary stories.
Yes.
So
Like-
just give it that kind
it's
of
gonna be
feeling.
hard. Oh.
Go
I
small.
was in New Orleans East one night by my dad's house with my siblings.
Scary.
It was a very dark night, and we were in the living room watching scary movies. So we were watching the movie, and right before the killer killed the girl, all the power went out. It was like, ah! So we was like running all over, we was so scared. And then my dad came and checked on us, and he was like, y'all stay right here. He moved us to the center of the house, and he went check the house. Turned out one of the doors were open, and it was so scary. We thought like something was in there. But he checked the house a few times and nothing was in there, and he locked the door.
Your house is haunted.
Yep, ghost.
That was so scary. Oh my
Odds
God.
are someone who was murdered, because that would make sense as to why it went
No, their
off right
insurance
before the girl was killed.
Yeah, right before the woman died. Everything was just, and it was so dark.
Right, everybody? 1, 2, 3.
That's what it sounds like when the
Right
power went out.
God, that would be
I can tell my Bloody Mary experience.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Bye.
So wait.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. I'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Sweet. Peace, y'all.
Excuse me. Before Bree leaves, don't forget, when we come back from the break that Thursday, we'll be here to have our meeting, but that night at 6 o'clock, we're all going to go to the East Regional Library for the poetry jam.
It's okay. That's okay. If you can't come, I'm not going to be back.
Daniel. No.
But thanks for
The
bringing
seat.
that up, Miss Arthur. Huh?
I didn't break a flashlight.
Flashlight failed.
Okay.
So
After.
It's okay. We'll go.
we're going in a circle.
Person tapping my window.
Whoa.
One.
Hold on, you later.
I don't know which one. Whichever one you want. You go next though.
No, well, Nick wanted to go after Caitlin. Because we skipped him.
So, my scary story when I was my 5th year in Girl Scouts. We went camping at Covington Girl Scout camp, and there was this older Girl Scout troop, and they decided to tell us a scary story about this Girl Scout legend named Tadger. He was human, monkey, lion, and millions of other
Sorry.
millions of other different animal things, and only Girl Scouts could see them. And of course, us being a little girls would fall for it. So they tell us a story that he comes in while all the little girls are sleeping and steals our clothes and fills it with candy. So
That's not awkward like a rapist. Not at all.
So that night, they started saying that he would also like steal your clothes and stuff, and then throw them in a river.
I was like, I'm a pretty girl. I'm done with these. Toss.
So that night, none of us could sleep, and there was about 5 of the girls crying. So we were all huddled up on one little cot.
Oh yeah.
Don't joke
All
about
huddled up,
freaking it out.
probably all 12 of us. Then all of a sudden we hear all around the cabin we're in scraping, like something trying to get in. So then we start, thank you, sound effects.
I was trying to find them.
So then all of a sudden we all start screaming, and then the screen door outside starts banging open and closed. So all of a sudden we all run out the back door, running in bare feet in pitch black, and then all of a sudden we hear things chasing us. So we're all freaking out and crying, and then we run into the council, our Girl Scout leader's cabin, and they're not there. So we
Wonder
start
what they're doing.
freaking out even more.
I wonder.
So then we hide in their cabin, lock the door, and then try to go to sleep.
That's smart. Oh look, there's no one in
So
there.
then that morning, we go to the mess hall, all freaked out, looking everywhere, making sure no one's following us. And then there's a bunch of all the other girls that are telling us the story about Tadger, just laughing at us. And then they tell us later that it was them chasing us, scraping all over the cabin. And one little girl, ever since then, can never go camping ever again. AKA me.
That's wonderful. Dun, dun, dun.
But you're not little anymore.
I only went camping once.
Because you're older.
And it was in my backyard in a tent with Amanda.
I'm afraid to camp now.
Next turn.
That's not really camping. I know, go back in the house and get my food.
Right. Originally, I had 2, but I'm gonna say that one for another time. There's one. This one's really a classic. I got this from a website called creepypasta.com.
Oh.
Remember my pasta? Creepy pasta? Yeah. I invited people with pasta.
And I don't know where these people come up with this stuff, but
That's fake.
Which one is it? They're for the stories.
Oh, okay.
they're these horror stories. I don't know where or how these kids come up with this, but this one was just gold. I thought. There was this college student, right? He was a gamer, but he didn't have any game systems. So his friend lent him this N64, this Nintendo 64. So this caused him to buy all these games from his youth. Super Smash Bros., Super Mario 64, you name it. But there was one game in his collection they didn't have. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And he bought all these games from various garage sales and swap meets and all that. And he finally found a copy of Majora's Mask. And he went to this old man's house. And the man was clearly deranged. I believe he was blind in one eye. And more, or I'm guessing, like suspenders and all that stuff. So it's really deranged out there. And the cartridge that the game, when we found the game, the college student, he noticed something strange about it. On the cover, on the little art cover of the cartridge, it didn't have the art or the logo or whatever. It just said Majora. It was put with a masking tape on it, and someone just wrote Majora in marker. So he thought, okay, I got nothing else to lose, so buys the game. And he plays the game, beats it, no big deal. But there was another file. There was another save file that belonged to the previous owner, Ben. And he kept it